the winner effect, why it's so important, why you probably haven't thought about this before, and why you absolutely need it to become successful in whatever area of your life you choose to endeavor in. The winner effect. The winner effect. The winner effect. I'm going to keep on saying it. The winner effect. What is it? Essentially, if you really look at it, it's the breakdown of literally neurotransmitters in your brain that hypertrophy or atrophy, depending on, whether you win or you lose. So quite literally, your brain actually goes through a metamorphosis, through a change, a strengthening of the synaptic pathways and the neurotransmitters, how testosterone operates in your brain. And the more you win, the better you feel, and the more likely you are to win in the future. The book, The Winner Effect, is super important. Recommend everyone read it. It's by Ian Robertson, and it's great. It goes into tons of detail. Like this book, like a lot of books that you read, okay, there's like some good examples. This guy goes into like examples out the ass, man. Like just, dude, every chapter, there's like literally 1,000 examples of like very contextual breakdowns throughout history. Like he goes throughout like the last like 1,000 years and just breaks down all these different events and political leaders and famous sports people. It's crazy how much detail he goes into. I mean, it's really remarkable. The amount of research he must have done, thousands of hours of research going into this book. It's very impressive. And, a lot of similarities, he'll draw upon, what makes someone successful. And a lot of things are completely within your control. Some of them are environmental. Some of them are parental, like how you were raised. And so it's like that classic debate versus nature and nurture. But obviously, as any intelligent person can diffuse, it's a combination of both nature and nurture, meaning there's a lot of things that are in your control, and there's a lot of things that are not in your control. And that's just the way that the game is. But read this book, you'll love it. It talks about, it brings things into perspective. And it's like, don't let anyone tell you that the way that you're born is like your set thing. We've gone through the last 100 years, certainly through like the 20th century, and thought that people that are great leaders, they're born that way. People that are great, sports and athletes, they're born that way. People that are great, public speakers, they're just born that way. And it's just not the truth. It's so stupid. It's like that's putting yourself just completely into like, oh, this person has it, this person doesn't. Again, you have to look at the saying, we're all cut from the same cloth. Every human is the same. Now, of course, there are advantages of, if you're talking about sports, if you're looking at basketball, I always give that example. If you're 6'8" versus 5'8", the guy that's 6'8" is going to have a lot more height advantage, but like that guy that's 5'8" is going to have so many advantages in maybe other areas and other sports, right? So no matter how you look at it, you can kind of mold yourself into a certain area, and you'll have certain attributes that will fit you to that area. But the biggest takeaway that I can give you guys is start with small little wins, right? You want to think of it as momentum building, and you take that first step, which leads to the next step, and that's going to start getting you more motivated and making you feel better. And quite literally, your brain will become stronger, and you will literally be more likely to then win down the road and have those bigger wins down the road. So in order to become successful, you think of, you have this disillusion in your brain that it's just going to snap. I'm just going to win the lottery. I'm going to make $100 million. I'm never going to have to work again. And it's just not realistic, right? To get to that point, you have to slowly chip away at it day in and day out, when you want to do it, when you don't want to do it, when other stuff is going on in your life, and start with those small little things and get those little wins on that day-to-day basis, and then you get them on the week-to-week, the month-to-month, and the year-to-year, and that is how you become successful and completely incorporate in the winner effect. I hope that helps. Read that book, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. I'm out.